Hello guys, it's Max here from Daily Market Movements. Welcome to another episode where today we're going to be analyzing the S&P 500 followed by the Nasdaq100 and the DowJones30 futures charts. S&P currently trading at 4,428 on this second trading session of the week. Now I've just made a big call over at my signal group. I flipped from being bearish to bullish. We took some profitable trades this morning here in my group where we closed both the S&P 500 and Nasdaq 100 trades in profit. We yielded 0.58% profit on the S&P 500 and a 1.2% profit here for the Nasdaq 100, which is very encouraging indeed. And we currently have the S&P 500 trading just above that 4,430 area, which does offer large areas of support. This is a little bit of resistance that we found back late July and of course mid-June. So, last week I kind of drew up this 5-wave structure that I've previously thought that we were trading in, and we finished this 5-wave wave structure, and then I kind of come out and said this could potentially be an ABC pattern where we could potentially break below the 50-day EMA and then go and break slightly below that A leg, and that's still a possibility. I want to make that very clear that is still a possibility. But what I actually think is occurring here is that we're currently forming this wedge pattern, and I kind of want to give it a go. And literally, since I sent out the buy signals in my signal group, we have bounced very nicely off this wedge pattern, and this is the kind of wedge that it looks to me that we are trading in. And if we break towards the upside, that could potentially take us back up towards 4,600. If we break towards the downside, then I think that confirms that we are trading in this ABC pattern. So a nice buy position here with a tight stop loss, I think, is worth a try, especially going into tomorrow where we have the FOMC meeting. Now, it's very important to understand that the Fed meeting tomorrow, we are expected to have no hike. I should make that clear, no hike. There's currently a 1% chance or less of a hike tomorrow. So that's, the actual headline of whether there's going to be a hike or not should be a non-event. But what I'm going to be heavily focused on tomorrow is the dot plot. The dot plot chart, which basically tells us where each individual Fed member sees the first, series of rate cuts. And the last dot plot that we had a few months ago showed us that, some Fed members thought that we were going to get a cut in, early to mid 2024, which is, of course, in, the space of the next 6 months, which, is coming around real quick. And I think that there is a risk that dot plot could potentially show that Fed members have now moved their expectations for the first rate cuts a little bit further along that timeline, maybe perhaps the back end of 2024, maybe even the beginning of 2025. So I think that is what the risk is going into tomorrow's meeting. It'll be very interesting to see what Jerome Powell says, because on the other side, a potential bullish and dovish catalyst for the markets is if Jerome Powell hits the same type of note that Madame Lagarde did over in the ECB last week, where she basically said that, our job's pretty much done here. She didn't say that in plain English, but, she kind of hinted at that. So it'll be very interesting tomorrow as we do go into that Fed meeting. So please be careful, because there's going to be lots of volatility. Then just quickly moving over here for the Nasdaq 100, very, very similar to the S&P 500. I do believe that we are currently trading in this minor wedge pattern. And if broken, it could potentially send us back towards those all-time highs. Not all-time highs, the yearly highs up at around 15,986. And if we take out the highs of this year, then that will then take us to the all-time highs, which sit just about 1,000 odd points above the swing highs for this year. So this is the current pattern that we could potentially be looking at for this, bearish period of the year, which is August and September, which only has around 11 days left until that does expire, and then we do enter into the month of October. And Q4 this year, I am expecting a face ripper rally going into year end, as many hedge funds and banks play catch up to the massive gains that we'll witness in the first half of this year, and missed, of course, by many top investors. So it's going to be very interesting to analyze and to see what happens there. And then just quickly drawing your attention to the DowJones30. The Dow's currently testing this trend line. I see this as a fantastic buying opportunity. I think the type of position that you would like to open here is a buy position like that. You have your stop loss below the 200-day EMA, and you'll take profit, somewhere up near the swing highs for the year, and that gives you a fantastic, slightly higher risk-reward ratio of 2-to-1. So that's the type of trade that I would be looking at, kind of entering into at this moment in time. I do like the Dow. I think technically speaking, it's very well set up. And, as I mentioned just a few moments ago, as we go into Q4 this year, I am expecting a face ripper of a rally as the hedge funds and the banks and the institutional investors play catch up to the large gains that were seen in the first half of this year. So I have slightly changed my sentiment and my bias on the markets today. That is significant. That's just to conclude this video. And I have now opened up 2 buy signals, both in S&P 500 and Nasdaq100. And if you watching my video at home would like to participate in those trades, then good news, you can do so for completely free of charge. All you have to do is scan this QR code. It will take you to my website where you can sign up. You can gain access to my Telegram group chat for 1 month from completely free of charge. There's no catches whatsoever. And if you don't like my signal group, then you can cancel.